Okay, in this short video I'm going to show you the basics of the guitar and two chords that you can use to sing a practice song. The guitar strings, there are 6 strings, and they're actually numbered sort of the opposite that you would think they are. They're numbered from, this is the way I remember it, from toes to nose. So the bottom string, the highest sounding string, is actually number 1, 1, 2, 3, all the way up to number 6. And the names of the strings are E, B, G, D, A, E. You can remember it by Early Birds Go Dancing All Evening. It's not essential that you remember this, but it's good to know what the strings are, and that we number them from 1 to 6, from toes to nose, from the bottom up. So if somebody, myself perhaps, asks you to put your first finger on the first string on the 2nd fret, I'm going to be on the first string, the highest sounding string, closest to your toes, and I'm going to be on, did I say 1st, 2nd, 3rd? I don't remember, but that's what the frets are. That's the basics of how this works. So, we're going to learn 2 chords today. You'll see 3 chords on your sheet, but I will use these to sort of explain what the chords are all about. We're going to start with a G chord, and I'm just going to show you that my fingers are placed pretty much the same way that this diagram is worked out. Even though the guitar is played on the side, this is what the diagram shows us, is that fingers are placed here. Your first finger, that's why there's a number 1 in here, your 2nd finger, and your 3rd finger way over there on the first string. And I know it looks kind of funny, but remember, it's all a little bit backwards on a guitar. Okay, so if you're ever confused, you can just have a deep and meaningful conversation with your guitar. Ah, yes. And what you're looking at, if it's right, should be the same as the chord that you're trying to create. So I've got myself a G chord, and if I'm going to play my G chord, I just strum. I actually strum from top to bottom. And you want to make sure that when you put your fingers on the strings, that you are sort of pinching down on them, so that you have lines on the ends. That you see where the lines are at the end of my fingers. They're not on the flat part. If I put my fingers too flat like this, I'll get a wonderful sound. Quite thumpy. So I want to be sort of clawing at it a little bit and have the tips of my fingers come down. So nice clean sound. So that's a G chord. And you might notice that there are some, or you will notice that there are some look like zeros. Those are O for open. That means to play those strings open. So we're actually going to play all 6 strings, even though there's only 3 fingers in the diagram. For the A chord, for example, we only play 5 strings, and there's an X over the first one. It's not the end of the world if you play the first one for A, but ideally, O for open on the 5th string, and all the rest on the way down. We're actually going to do the D chord now, though, and you'll see that the 5th and 6th strings in the D chord are not played, and that's pretty important. When I put my fingers on, they will make a triangle shape, just like the one that you see on the 1, 2, 3 of the D chord, and I'm not going to play these top 2 strings. I'm going to strum slightly out of tune, better tune than we started, but if I play all of them, I get a bit of muddiness, and I don't want that. So my D chord is just going to be the bottom 4 strings. So, between the G chord and the D chord, we can play a number of songs, and we're just going to look at one of them today, and it's a classic. It's called He's Got the Whole World in His Hands, and most of the time you will have 8 strums before you'll change to the next chord. And there's only 2 chords in the whole song, G and D. So the trick with this song is to make sure that you change without losing too much time. Don't throw your fingers up in the air and then try and come back down to G. Throw your fingers in the air and come back to D. Keep them close. A good way to practice is just to play the G, play the D, play the G, and go back and forth. So it's called practice. Not just rehearsals, not just go for it and play the song. Practice getting those chords in place. Remember that you want to see those lines on the very end of your fingers so that we can clamp down on the guitar and get a nice clean sound. Your thumb should be behind the neck, really, until you get more comfortable, and then you can really play with it. That gives you a bit of a cleaner sound. So the song would be, He's got the whole world in his hands. he's got the whole world. In his hands, he's got the whole world. In his hands, he's got the whole world in his hands. And you notice that at the very end, he's got the whole world in his, only has 4 strums, and the same with the G at the end. So you can play along with that. You can rewind this part of the video and you can play that bit again, and of course you're going to be singing it quite a lot higher than I am. But if you get nothing else from today's lesson, make sure that you are using the very tips of your fingers. Okay, your first finger, your second finger, and your third finger are involved today. Little pinky finger, he's sort of out to pasture. He's not ready yet. And thumbkin, let's not even go there. These 3 fingers are the ones that you use to get a nice clean sound. You can switch from chord to chord, then you are on to it. Good luck.